Welcome back to Rise of the Kasai. Hoping to get things a bit more focused this time. Already doing a bit of a poor job of it. But the Bougere makes short work of it. That's the name of our ridiculous axe equivalent. I'd originally thought it was something of a glaive. But it's considerably heavier than any such thing. I know there's a guy right to my right. I've yet to make any sort of sense of this open courtyard area. But it seems to have reset since I saved and reloaded. So maybe I have another chance. Attempting stealth, because last time I just barreled through here. Awoke absolutely everybody and should have gotten myself killed. But they've all gone back in their jack-in-the-box holes. And I'm going to try and keep them there. And Rao is still MIA. Hasn't mattered too much yet. There's invisible mode. Incredibly exciting. I thought I could move around invisibly. I think he might have seen me had I not been invisible. So that murder was brought to you by a potentially useless power-up. Now, I was pretty sure we were looking around for switches. Don't know if that's still the case. Am I leaving the area? Yeah, I think this might be back to the previous area. Is that Rao? Is Rao causing trouble? Only one way to find out. No. Rao's just staring at a wall. When this game works, it works really well. But it doesn't always work. Take out our security axe. See what kind of damage we can do. The Bougere, by the way, is another made-up name. It seems like an authentic weapon, although I don't know why you would shape an axe like this. But nonetheless, it's more or less fantasy gibberish. Pretty much all the proper nouns in both of the games are entirely made up. Many of them are inspired by terms from alternate cultures. Alternate from American, that is to say. But are generally in keeping with a certain dialect. They actually did a really good job of that in the first game. They clearly studied Polynesian dialects. For example, a very common Polynesian word would be Hawaii, one we should all know, I think. However, in many of the Polynesian cultures that use that same language, they replace words, or rather letters. For example, H is usually spelled with an S in other Polynesian cultures. So that'd be Sawai. Sometimes that guttural stop in the middle of those terminating 3 vowels at the end of Hawaii, that'll have a K, so that would be Sawaiki. I don't think I'm hitting anybody with these. But yeah, I found the alternate dialects very interesting. They clearly use the K instead of the guttural stop in many instances, like in Hayadoko. There's Rao. How the hell did he get up here? And what the hell is he doing? Maybe he was here all along. Couldn't really tell his location because he was just staring at a wall, which he continues to do. Fine. Oh, teamwork. Route. Stealth is not the way to go this time. In fact, Route's only use was his lack of stealth. He was drawing the fire away from me. There we go. So we should be on the trail of the next switch, because Rao is sort of slowly making his progress towards it. I would hope. If not, then he's just being useless. Like he was when he was firing all of his arrows into the sea. Okay, these are sort of time-released. I gotta learn how to use these things, because they have great potential use. Boy, do they take a while. Okay, he's gonna turn around just at the most inopportune moment. Naturally. Oh. But he failed to spot me. Ugh. Oh, what? Oh, Rao. Thanks, Rao. He's Steve Martin, that guy. Okay, so things are going pretty well. Accidentally using teamwork to my advantage. Oh boy. I just remembered I haven't even checked the challenges for this level so far. Ah, blast. Might as well just jump down at this point. Okay. Let's try the puffers again. Why not? Can't do much else at the moment. Last time a direct hit with the puffer did nothing. My recent experience suggests that they are activated by proximity. So his own bomb won't go off until he walks near somebody. Sort of awkward. I can't really make use of that in most situations. Sort of makes it more of a support item to Rao's bow, which is a very active item. If I'm coming all this way for one switch, I'm gonna be mad. Finally, though, got some guys with their backs turned. Ha. That's some good old Mark of Kree stealth. Sort of thing I've been missing. Because stealth in this game, it sort of feels like the levels are just sort of dropped. Like they fell down a flight of stairs. Because they aren't nearly as organized as the original game's levels. Now some might call that a problem with the original game. It was just ridiculously linear. But it worked. This area I have not been able to make any sense of. There have been a few previous areas that are similar. That's not necessarily a great way to experience a video game. For example, I don't think there's anything on this very elaborate central structure, which is nonetheless really cool to explore, but I'm about ready to make some progress. I really like doing that. How did that horn go off? I'm just gonna descend this structure as soon as I can. Kill anyone who gets in my way. About those challenges. Hate to interrupt combat just to check them out. Especially when combat is going so well. Finally, that switch has reared its ugly head. We'll just clear this area out. Claim victory. And I don't even think this is the last one. It is. Thankfully. Help out Rao. Deal some collateral damage along the way. Now, let's see. Yeah, it's all about puffer mastery, which I'm not doing so well at. Drop barrels to kill 5 enemies. That is an insult. And perform all combos with all weapons. These are ridiculous challenges. It's like 10 times harder than any of the other challenges in any of the previous levels, including those in Mark of Kuri. Nonetheless, I'll have to find a way to get them, most likely off screen, because that's pretty complicated. Being fired upon, but I do not care. Moving right along.
My master and his sister were traveling farther from all that they knew, and I fear they were also beginning to drift apart. Tati was becoming a great warrior in her own right, but was quick to question the ways of the Rakus. Her mark was beginning to affect her, leaking whatever magic from which it was made. The spell was sweating dark magic that was slowly altering her personality. She now had less patience for her training and grew easily frustrated at Rao's tutorage.
I'm gonna go ahead and call that a tragic failure to show instead of tell. Because that's the sort of thing that would be awesome to see. Tati sort of turning against Rao, maybe having delusions of some sort. This is a story that could be much, much better well presented. So far, kind of disappointing. I don't actually have any investment in what's going on, despite the fact that it is, in and of itself, interesting. Like, they could have even done some sort of crazy Eternal Darkness sort of thing. Maybe just for a set piece or two where Tati just sees an enemy and it turns out it's Rao. Something like that. Nonetheless, we are just performing elaborate kills on generic mooks ad nauseum. There's 2 switches down here. Let's find out what the other one does, because why not? It's behind door number 2. The exact same animation. So Guess we opened up 2 alternate paths. Or just open up the same path twice. Wouldn't be too surprised. Rao's taking the upper deck. Maybe I can... Nope. Don't know what happened, but it was not beneficial. Probably doesn't count towards my puffer stealth kills, since he was pretty fully aware. But the Bougere is every bit as satisfying as the axe ever was, at least. So that was the Fua Usu Fahu. She didn't finish her sentence, but that's what it were. About the same as Rao's old Fua Usu Fahu. And pretty useless because of that. Crack open another door. At least the path is much easier to discern in this area. Once again, I can hear the cries of the success circle. But where the hell is it? Things don't really follow, if you know what I mean. It's very linear, but not in a straight line. I'm having a hard time figuring it out. If that wasn't obvious from the fact that I've been spinning in circles for about a minute and a half. Let us see what I can do about that. It's probably back in this previous area. There's Rao, doing nothing. Yeah, the dual character thing started out really cool, but when you actually are watching your AI ally wandering around, he kind of acts like a goof. It's more funny than anything. Nothing wrong with the game being unintentionally funny, though. What is he doing? Something like that. Yep. I'm acting like kind of a goof myself. We got ourselves a nice arena here. As soon as Rao shows up, this is going to be a beautiful bloodbath. The puffers are probably pretty terrible at dealing with archers, so hopefully Rao's going to do that for us. Otherwise, I'm going to be pretty dead. Swung low and chopped off his head. Rao had a lot of golf swings with his axe, which were pretty useful. He almost always took out a leg, which was as good as fatal. So far, axes just kill everything, like they oughta. There's a weird, subtle difference in the way the focus beam works in this game when you're targeting multiple enemies. It seems to do all 3 of the X's first, then all 3 of the squares, then all 3 of these circles. Which means when you're targeting multiple enemies, it's kind of useless. Because the redundant X just sort of falls off after a couple of seconds. I don't know, it's a bit awkward in practice. Seems like a negligible difference when you're just talking about it, but has done me no favors thus far. Okay, Rao did make it to the top floor, which is where the door is. I think I'm gonna have to meet him up there somehow. That or we have different success circles, which has happened in the past. Previous levels. The first siblings levels were actually quite well designed. They were pretty elaborate because they had to split the paths between Tati and Rao. They feel a bit sloppier in the last 2 levels. Might just be my imagination because I haven't been playing them correctly. Just been sort of barreling through mindlessly. Doesn't help that our goals are very poorly defined thus far. We're just trying to go get spell pieces. We don't know why we need them. We don't even know if we need them. Previously, we failed to get one. Did not seem to matter. Although Rao did fail quite a bit in Mark of Kree. That turned out pretty fine. I fear no archers. Rao's doing his job. I think that's the first switch he's pulled this entire level. This area's actually worked out pretty well. Rao's taken the top path, taken out all the archers. I hit the ground floor, sliced up all the ground troops. Yeah, good teamwork. Now, I think I gotta head back down there though. Repeat the process. And I suppose we're at a good point to take a break, see exactly what we just saw again when we return.